What happened when your biggest critic became your biggest beggar? My mother-in-law spent 3 years telling everyone I was a gold digger who trapped her lawyer's son with a baby. Then she discovered why I really worked double shifts at a diner. When Preston told his mother about my pregnancy, I watched Eleanor's face twist with disgust. Her eyes swept over my thrift store clothes before settling on my stomach like it was evidence of a crime. She demanded a paternity test before she'd even speak to me. Not one test, 3 different ones. She supervised each collection herself, watching the nurse swab her son's cheek like she was gathering evidence for court. Even after the first results, she insisted on independent verification. When all 3 confirmed what I already knew, Eleanor changed tactics. Now I wasn't a liar, I was a schemer. At family dinners, she'd study my face while discussing girls who trap successful men. She'd pause mid-sentence to watch my reactions, searching for guilt. The prenup she forced on us was 60 pages of humiliation. If Preston left me, I'd get nothing. Eleanor sat across the conference table, her manicured nails tapping wood as she watched me sign away any claim to their money. Her smile grew wider with each page, but legal protection wasn't enough. Eleanor needed everyone to know what kind of person I was. At her country club, she'd introduce me as Preston's situation instead of his wife. During charity events, she'd steer conversations toward teen pregnancy statistics while glancing at my wedding ring. The baby shower she hosted was psychological warfare disguised as celebration. Her toast mentioned life's unexpected detours and how some blessings come in unusual packages. Her friends nodded sympathetically while eyeing my belly like poverty might be contagious. When Jasper was born, Eleanor's cruelty evolved. Every outfit came with elaborate tags, from grandma who provides or love from the family with resources. She'd dress him for photos, then hand me the old clothes, explaining that I could use the hand-me-downs. Her whispers to my infant son made my chest burn. During family gatherings, she'd hold him and speak just loud enough for me to hear. Grandma will make sure you have everything, because grandma has money. She'd glance at me while rocking him, her eyes cold as winter. Family vacations were always scheduled during my work shifts. When I explained I couldn't afford to miss work, she'd pat my hand with fake sympathy. Then she'd post dozens of photos. 3 generations, almost complete. Or, wish everyone could make it. Christmas was Eleanor's favorite battlefield. While Preston unwrapped golf clubs and his sister got designer jewelry, I received self-help books wrapped in newspaper, financial planning, career guidance, going back to school after baby. Each one delivered with concerned smiles and loud explanations about self-improvement. The Christmas that broke me came when Jasper turned 3. Eleanor handed me a GED study guide wrapped in actual newspaper while everyone else's gifts gleamed in gold paper. She announced that education was never too late, especially with proper motivation now. She pulled out community college brochures, circling financial aid sections while explaining payment plans like I was slow. That night, while Preston made excuses for his mother, I decided I was done hiding. If Eleanor wanted to see me as trash, fine, but she'd learn exactly how wrong she was. What nobody knew was that I'd been orphaned at 19 when a drunk trucker killed my parents. The settlement from the trucking company was 8 figures. I'd been testing Preston's love by living modestly, wanting to know if he'd choose me without money. Eleanor had failed that test every day for 3 years. The truth surfaced when Preston's gambling addiction exploded. My golden boy husband owed $400,000 to dangerous people. They'd already visited his office with warnings about broken fingers and worse. Eleanor called me sobbing at 2 a.m. They'd mortgaged everything, maxed every card. She begged me to ask my diner connections for help. Maybe I knew people who could arrange payments. Her desperation dripped through the phone. I let the silence stretch before telling her I could pay the entire debt tonight, in cash, from the trust fund I'd been sitting on while she tortured me for being poor. The prenup she'd forced me to sign, it protected my millions from her gambling son. The silence lasted so long I thought she'd hung up. Then came the stuttering, the whimpering, the frantic apologies. She called me sweetheart darling, the best thing that happened to Preston. She begged forgiveness, promised to fix everything. I paid the debts with conditions, full custody of Jasper, Eleanor banned from seeing him without permission, and Preston had to publicly admit why our marriage ended, his addiction that only his gold digger wife could fix. I moved across the country with Jasper, changed our names, started fresh. This time living honestly as the wealthy single mother I'd always been. Jasper doesn't remember Eleanor. When he asks about daddy's family, I tell him some people only love you when you need them. Eleanor sends monthly letters begging for photos, videos, anything. She writes about grandparents' rights and cruel mothers. What she doesn't mention is the 3 years of humiliation that led here. I had the GED study guide professionally framed and sent to her with my trust fund statement. My note was simple. For someone who needs education about judging others. Preston told me she keeps it hidden in her closet. Sometimes he catches her staring at it, touching the frame like it might change the past. The gold digger had more gold than their entire family. Now they'll spend forever knowing they threw away a fortune because they couldn't see past their own prejudice.